Hey, this is Dr. Pam Perry, and we are here for another Speakers Magazine show. And today we have Laticia Nicole as our guest today. So she is going to be talking to us about what she does. But let me give you a little bit of a background. She has a book. So Laticia Nicole Beatty is an RN, a BSN, and an MBA, and a certified life coach, right? Motivational speaker, nursing home administrator, and the best-selling author of 7 books. Yep, 7 books. One of them is this one that I'm holding, Healing Toxic Habits, I Am Beautiful, Speak Life, 100-Day Devotional, and Unsilenced Faces of Domestic Violence. She's also the founder of Purpose Professionals, which we'll talk about today, some of the events that she's doing with that, and Laticia Nicole Enterprises, LLC, Speak Life Transformational Institute, and a vitamin and herbal tea company, which she'll tell us a little bit about, and the chief editor of Speak Life magazine. So, with that, I want to welcome Nicole Beatty. Okay, Laticia Nicole. So this is the issue that she's on. You can see she has it in the back as well. Yes, there you go. There you go. So she was a cover for August 22. So one of the things I read your illustrious bio, some of the snippets of the things. Tell me about your journey, and did you think you would always end up here?
My God, that is an awesome question. Thank you so much, Dr. Pam. Well, you know what? I did realize I will always end up here. Actually, it's funny because I looked into my high school. It's a place where, right, where will you be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And the first thing I wrote that I was going to have an SUV. I would be a registered nurse with 2 kids and a house and a husband.
And you got them all.
I got them all. The second thing I wrote that, like, okay, yes, I would have the house, the cat, right, and the husband and the SUV. But I said I was going to be an REM, but I also stated that I was going to be an owner.
Oh.
My grandmother was the owner of Pitts Vernon Cleaners right there on Livernois in Detroit, Michigan. So I've always known I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But right now, I mean, yes, it's blowing my mind how God is orchestrating my life with the books and with the products and now the nursing home, and everything is just coming to fruition where I'm using all of my gifts when I was younger now. So that's the part that's like mind boggling and blowing to me.
And so one of the things too is who was your greatest inspiration?
I would say it definitely was my grandma. My grandmother employed all of her children, her 5 children, plus the ones that she adopted from the neighborhood. And she took care of their kids as well. So she was an entrepreneur and she was a woman that didn't take no mess.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. And so when you think about your journey of getting there, of where you are now, what makes you tick? What's the thing that really gets you excited and gets you up and going in the morning?
Making a difference in somebody's life. It's funny that you asked me that today because today in North Carolina it was like raining and dreary day, and then I put on all these colors and I was like, I want to be somebody's sunshine. Really, truly, that's what I said this morning. Just to make a difference in somebody's life, whether it's a smile or a hug or being a solution to the economy by giving them a job or helping them start a business.
And that's really what you did too, because when you think about it, being a nurse, you are making them a difference, right? In life and death situations, and sometimes. Um, so when you think about it, when you were growing up, what question do you think you were often asked? The same question that has to do with the problem that people have or a solution that you had that will help them. What was the question that people always ask you? Or even today, what do they always want advice from you for?
Oh my God, how did I do it?
Mhm.
Coming from a single family home, my mother was a teenage mother when she had me at 15. And people want to know how because they automatically look at your, present circumstance as a teenage mom and, that you're not going to amount to anything. And people, it's so funny, be like, oh, Tisha, that's what they call me at home. Tisha did what? Oh, I seen Tisha. And my mother's now she's gloating. She's like, yes, my daughter, yes.
Oh, she's so proud. She's so proud because that is
Yeah.
one of the things too that you really do. make her proud in terms of all the things. So tell us about one of the companies. I think is Purpose Professionals, right? That is the one. Purpose Professionals Inc. Is that the nonprofit that's doing
It
the
is.
event that's coming up? Okay.
A- Absolutely. So, Purpose Professionals Inc. started out being professional divas, and now deviated, because we are purpose professionals that's making a difference in the economy and starting in our community, right? And so, in 2011, um, I realized that I was at a really bad place, and I didn't have a lot of food. Well, I heard the Spirit of the Lord said, feed 1,000 people. And I'm like, Lord, is that you? What do you mean? I don't have food at the house myself. So I started, I started to ask people to help me feed a community of 1,000 families. And I had more food than I could ever imagine in my own household because I was feeding them. I had 100 turkeys in my 100 frozen turkeys. I had so much food. People were just bringing food, dropping it off, and so that's how actually the organization started because I wanted to bless the elderly, and this is what we're still doing to this day.
Wow. And so what is you do every year for the last 6 years, I believe it is, in
Yes,
September. So
yeah,
tell us about
absolutely.
that.
So this event called the Big Hat Brunch. This year we're having it at Rue Chris, which we had it in 2019 at Rue Chris, and this year we're having it again there. It's going to be 30 to 50 women, all entrepreneurs, and this year the theme is Big Hat Brunch Marketplace Ministry Edition.
Mm, mhm.
Mhm.
I love
So
that.
we're going to network together and see how we can help one another make a change in each other's lives, but also in the community.
So one of the things that you do is that you do the food, but you also do other things as well for the community. And every year it's just a give back. It's just a straight give back.
It's a give back. And
Mm.
even for this Saturday, I asked the ladies to bring toiletries. So I'm also getting ready for our give back for the Thanksgiving blessing and for Christmas, where we're asking business owners and people to get their shoe boxes and put and wrap them up with Christmas present, paper, and put toiletries in it for the elderly.
Oh, I love that. So tell us about how the nursing home or the nursing facility came about and how that was just so God. And you had already said that, one day I'd like to own one. So give us a story about how that manifested.
Oh, wow. So last year, about this time, I had taken on an interim position in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is about 3 hours from my home, right? I was staying in a hotel and going back and forth on a weekend home. And I got a call from a young lady that was actually, she was getting out of the business and they done bought their own facility, a smaller facility. And they're like, you know what, Laticia Nicole, you ready to be an owner? And actually, I used to send some of my nursing home patients to this home. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Willis? And literally 6 months later, I met the owner of the building because I own the business and we rent the building, right?
Hmm.
And he was like, yeah, okay, how old is she? What has she done? He wanted to see my resume and my portfolio.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I've been in the nursing home business for over 20 years and I've done a market analysis of this market. And he was like, oh, okay, write that down, like, young girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And pretty much God made it to where he ended up calling me at the last minute and saying, yeah, you can own you can lease the building. But I had already done all my paperwork. I got my license. I'm a nursing home administrator, also by trade. I did the AIT for that, administrator in training. But because I am a skilled nursing home administrator and a nurse, all I had to do was take the test for the assistant living administrator. So
Oh,
I am an owner operator.
I love that. I love that. And that's how God like aligns it. So what is the thing that you always say that rhymes that begins with the two A's? You need to be in alignment.
Alignment with your assignment.
And that's what you
Alignment with your assignment. And that has been my life. Like, basically, speak life has been my life.
mm,
I thank God for that because it all began like in that 2010, 2011, right? My first book was birthed in 2013 and 14, but Speak Life has been just the theme of my life that I spoke into existence even as a child.
I like that. So when we think about your intentions, do you set your intentions daily, monthly, yearly? How are you really making a lot of this happen?
So I have a planner
Okay.
that I use. Okay. And
Oh,
I
I love that
realized
planner.
I'm not the only one that needed it. And it's a every 3 month planner because sometimes I don't do things by the year because we get sidetracked. So by quarters is better. And that's how my planner
Mm,
is designed as well. So I quarterly plan. So I'm planning for next quarter with this during this quarter, right? Because things happen and you don't want to just forget about it. And so yearly is that's too long. That's too much.
yeah.
So that's how I do. I quarterly plan. And that's how I know like the Thanksgiving blessing is always going to be in the last quarter. Christmas is going to always be in the last quarter. And also always do the big hat brunch in
Mm-hmm.
the last quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I do my retreats at the beginning of the year.
Right. Okay. All right. So in this right here, we have the tea. We have a picture of you with the tea for those you listen to the podcast or those who can't see it. Make sure that you go to speakersmagazine.com and actually get the magazine as well so you can read the August issue so you can see these beautiful pictures in here. But one of the things that about the tea. So tell us how the tea came about because it was a situation where something bad became something good.
Oh God, isn't that the way he worked? Okay, so woo, 2020, I developed COVID. I stayed in the basement for 2.5 months.
Whew.
Crazy, right? I'm in the basement for 2.5 months. I took on an interim position at a nursing home. I was there for 7 days. 7 days. On day 7, I was diagnosed with COVID. Right. So I ended up staying in the basement for 2.5 months because I have a comorbidity by the name of asthma. Right.
Mhm.
So they didn't know much about COVID back then when it first came out. So I'm in the basement taking every herb that we have in the house. I mean, I'm doing ginger, I'm doing turmeric and vitamin C. And so I had all of these pills and all of these teas. So God gave me the idea during that time to put all of these products into one tea bag. Into one tea bag. So that's what I did with the tea. Then I noticed that vitamin C was only coming in 500 milligrams, and you can take up to 1,000 milligrams safely. I'm a nurse, I'm a registered nurse, so I know this. So instead of 2 pills, I made it 1 pill, or 1,000 milligram 1 pill.
Ooh.
Instead of taking 2 turmeric and 2 gingers, right? I end up putting 4 pills in 2 tabs. So you have the ginger and the turmeric in 2 tabs. And so that's what I did while I was pretty much healing from COVID. And that's what I have now.
I love it. And the tea, I have to tell you that it is really good. They can actually get it at LaticiaNicole.com. I think the shop there, they can get it. It tastes really good. It's sweet. And it's healing. That all of those properties that you said are the ones that are really good. Those are really good. They're good for you, good for the immune system, good for your digestion, all of that. So that's like really God. So it seems like God is always has his hand on you no matter what's going on. It's like he's going to take every bit because you're a nurse, so you knew like a little bit about like some of the science behind putting this together. But the part that is interesting is that you've got the MBA, so you take the business part of that as well and put together products. So how many products, just if you can think, have you created over your lifetime
Oh my
besides the book,
goodness.
besides the 7 books,
Oh wow. So I'm thinking about at
the
least
planner?
six,
You got
five
the
or seven.
planner.
The planner, the eyelashes, the lip gloss. I got the planner, the eyelash, lip gloss. Not just eyelashes. So I have regular eyelashes and magnetic eyelashes.
Mhm.
And I did that because people with that's healing from cancer, they're allergic to the glue.
Right.
So
As a nurse, you
um,
would know that and be empathetic
yeah,
about that. Yep, yep.
yeah. Oh my God. I used to, well, not used to because people still call me for it. So I had a line of jewelry of my own called Pearl of Wisdom because I
Yeah.
had stores in the mall and kiosks in the mall. So I would have a Pearl of Wisdom line of jewelry and clothing. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so she's also done children's books, which are hardcover books as well. And then also too, one of the things that did, I think you did hats. I don't know if that the hats were actually yours, but you're like an influencer too. So you would wear these hats and then people would want the hats. And then did you order the hats or people were asking you how to
Yes,
get the hats?
yeah, I did. I end up ordering the hats because I think on one of the reels I did, it was like 65,000 people asking, and I'm like, okay, I need
Let
to
me
go
get
ahead
the
and
hats.
order this hat, and so they would buy them from me, and I'm like, okay.
See, that's one of the things of an entrepreneur, a true entrepreneur, and really the creativity of God just being poured down into you. So, what is your daily routine like? So, we know we're quarterly, you're setting the intentions. So, what does a daily routine look like?
So for the last 9 years, going on 10, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have, well, now a clubhouse thanks to Pam. Dr. Pam pushed me out there to actually was on the telephone line, a 1-800 line that everybody called in, but we're still going strong. So it's prayer and Bible study every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after the Bible study, then I actually get ready to go out and serve, whether that's at my facility or whether I'm helping at an elderly tower or I choose that time to serve.
Mhm.
And when I come home in the evenings, now the boys are in college. I used to try to spend some time with the kids and my husband, but now I do me. I spend time with me time. You got to have some me time. So I do a lot of studying. I am in college to finish up my doctoral degree. I'm in my last year. So I tend to get some time to write for my dissertation.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much my day. And planning. My mind is always, as a creative, I'm always thinking of new stuff to do.
So, this one here, this particular book, the way that I want people to understand is that you do a lot of mindset work. So this book is Mindset Matters: Healing Toxic Habits. And so tell us about how this came about. This is your latest book here, that people can get on Amazon as well. But these are topics that you speak on. So tell us why you're so passionate about this particular topic and the mindset.
Well, basically, it's because we have these toxic habits and we're not aware of them because they're so embedded into the subconscious mind that's leading the conscious mind. And a lot of times we don't even understand and know why we do things. So I wanted to bring it out in the light and let people know why we have these insecurities, why we have shame, doubt, anger, just all these insecurities that we have. And once we find out why we have them and where they're hidden, then we know how to pluck them out and deal with them and heal from them. And so I actually wrote about anger.
Hmm. Hmm. And then also too, I see Yolanda Spearman's in here. She wrote about relentless abundance. There's one called Beautifully Broken. I believe I met that young lady through you.
Melanie, yes.
Yeah, and there's just the forward is by Dr. Portia Lockett, but I love the book because one, it's the short stories that really just kind of pricks your spirit, like, okay, these are the things that I need to work on, and then there's the bios of all of them in the back, as well. You have Shayna Monique Williams, you have Lorene Garner, and I just love it. It's one of those pocketbooks that you can carry with you, and if you can kind of see those that are watching the video, we can't see it on the podcast, but explain the logo of the gold there, the what you said is mindset matters. So explain to
Yes, and we know that the tree is always growing, and a tree is steadfast and it's never moved by wind, right? And so
Mhm,
when we learn how to manage our mindset, it's almost like a tree. A tree have different seasons, it grows, it prunes, right? But it
mhm.
always is always progressing. And so
Yes,
I want us to be the same, just like a tree in our mind.
I love that, and it also reminds me a little bit of the Speak Life logo, a little bit, somewhat. but because
Yes.
that's your overall hashtag is Speak Life. So we got the daily routine that on Clubhouse. The name of the Clubhouse is called Speak Life
Speak
Club,
Life Network. Hmm.
Speak Life Network, right? That's a club. And so leading up to the last few minutes we have, so people who want to book you to speak, what are some of the favorite topics that you speak on? But before you answer that, what are some of the speeches, I guess you would say, or people that have inspired you? So, like you can say, that was a really great speech that really changed my life. So, name some of those people, and then maybe say some of the ones that people have always said to you and walk up to you and say, "You really changed my life. You spoke on 4 or 5 different topics," or something like that. So, who has been like the greatest inspirational speaker to you? And then what are the ones that people are asking you, the topics they want you to speak
So my greatest speaker has been people like TD Jakes.
on?
I love hearing Serena. I love hearing. I used to go to all of his Women That Are Loose, and he
Yeah.
actually has another one coming in Atlanta. So I love hearing him speak. I also love to hear my pastor, which
Hmm.
is my pastor Rose Thomas, and I'm trying to think. Oh my God, I don't even know how I was about to lead us out. George Frazier
Yes.
is amazing. Like every time I hear him speak, it just gets my mind going even more. And what was your
You
other
said,
question?
you said Sarita. Sarita Drake.
Yeah, she's amazing. Oh, and,
Mhm.
and it's so authentic. Just good, just people that can speak straight to the heart. I like straightforward speaking.
Mhm.
I don't like no chaser. Just go ahead and give it to us straight so we can heal.
I would say if I were to uh, compare you to a speaker, I would probably compare you to Sarita Jakes, just in terms of style and what people kind of like expected from her, because you know that she was a teen mom, and people just kind of thought that, oh, she probably won't amount to much, what kind of things, but you actually did do a lot. You did a lot, just like Sarita. Sarita went through, I think, a lot of drama and trauma. At one point in time, she was so depressed and that sort of thing. But look at her now. She's just got these beautiful churches. I think 2 churches, and husband and family. She's always sharp. She's got a podcast. She's got all these different products and things like that. So I can see where you're why you like her, because people probably say that you remind them of her. Have you ever heard that before?
Actually, I have.
Yeah.
And I met TD Jakes. I actually gave him one of my books and we took pictures with him. I had lunch with him actually.
Oh my God.
Um, yeah, one of the
One of my favorite clients. I love him too.
women's empowerment. He's amazing. And they had invited my organization to the lunching. It was like a private lunching. And as he was going out the door, and I said it that day, I said, I'm going to get this book in Bishop's hand. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And he went out the right door and I went out the left, and I met him right in the hallway. And I said, sir, and he just talked to me and he started prophesying over me. And he was like, that was brave, And we took pictures, and he spoke a lot into my life. And definitely that's why, because his daughter and I have a lot of the same stories as well.
Very, very similar, very similar. So the last thing is like, what are some of the favorite topics that people request from you to speak?
So of course, it's a lot of healing. They like speak life to your business, speak life into your spouse, right? But I'm getting a lot of product development,
Ah,
right?
mm,
How to monetize your message, how to because we have to understand. And I say a lot of this: the gift giver giveth the gift. So and that's the investment, so you can multiply it. And so a lot of people want to know how can they multiply the gift.
that is it. That is it. So I want everyone to go to um, speakersmagazine.com and go to letitianicole.com as well. You can find out more information about her from reading about her in the magazine, and definitely buy her products and things like that, and request her to speak. This is a Speakers Magazine podcast, so request her to speak by going to LaticiaNicole.com as well. And so, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we close out today?
Well, I want everybody to know that you should never try to build a business on a broken foundation, and we are the foundation. And so we should be whole and healed. So everything around us can be whole and healed, including your business.
I love that. I love that. All right. So, Laticia Nicole, thank you so much for joining the Speakers Magazine show. I wish you much success, especially at the Big Hat Brunch that's going to be going on in North Carolina coming up in September. You do it every year. So make sure that that is always just such a blessing. And so just thank you so much, Speakers Magazine. All the people who will be attending will be getting a copy of this in their swag bag as well. But thank you so much for joining us today. And I will talk with you soon. All
Thank
right.
you so much for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.